In 2001, a short anime film is released, which comes out, becomes very famous, and becomes one of the most depressing anime in anime history. And its name is Nekojiru-so. It is so traumatic that you will feel very uncomfortable just by watching its visuals. And I would not be shocked at all if you drop it in the middle, because the level of its wordiness is such. And now, if you are thinking of comparing it with Midori, then I will just tell you that it is infant in front of it. And I am not telling you this thing by belittling at all. I am just trying to explain the seriousness of this anime movie to you, that whoever has seen this movie till now, their reaction has been very
Not done yet, you see. Look at him. Oh, see the other guy? He just coughed. He's like, Jesus amado, meu Deus!
unsettling. So, what I told you was very devastating, but do you know what is even more devastating than this? Whatever this anime movie was released exactly 2 years before that, its narrator committed suicide by his own hands. Until date, nobody knows the reason why he did this. And she was Hashiguchi Chiyomi, whose pen name was Nekojito, which is made up of 2 words, cat and soups, and from this comes the name of this movie, which has the same meaning, cat soup. Some people believe that whatever Nekojito faced before his death, we get to see all that in this movie. And again, it is quite unsettling. But the scenes which are shown in this movie, they actually have a deeper meaning, which most people miss. Because again, people watch it only for its shock value and nothing else. And that is why today I am making this video where I will tell you its story and tell you what exactly happens in this movie, including all those bizarre parts. And I will also explain their actual meaning. Also, we will find out, how did Nekojito die? So, before telling the story of this movie, I would like to tell you where this movie was made from. And this movie is inspired from its original manga released in 1919, where we see 2 white cats who are actually brother and sister and do dark comedy throughout the manga. And we see these 2 characters in this movie as well, and we get to hear dialogues only at 1 or 2 places in this entire movie, whereas we have to make the story ourselves by watching the things happening on the screen the whole time, which is really very interesting and confusing as well, because at some places the scenes change very rapidly, due to which it becomes very difficult to understand them. But you don't worry, I'll explain to you each and everything that will be shown in this entire movie. And I think there are too many things. So, back to the film. Well, the movie starts and where are we shown from inside the bathtub, where a kid comes to wash his toy car, and suddenly he falls in the same bathtub. As you saw, this movie doesn't waste time at all and brings an unsettling situation in front of us, and I know it was very devastating, but trust me, this is just the beginning. Then we see the sister of that boy who was very sick, and then her eyes close, and later they open again where some entity is standing in front of her, after which the screen shifts suddenly and again goes towards the boy from the bathtub, who comes out of the bathtub and goes towards his mother and tries to say something to his mother, but his mother doesn't listen to anything, after which he runs towards his father, but he also does not listen to anything he says, and then he sees his sister going out with someone, and that entity was none other than the messenger of death, whom you can also call Reaper, who is taking the soul of that boy's sister with him. And that boy also follows him where he hears 3 women talking on the road, and then he does this with one of them. And then he runs away from there, and on the way, he sees the messenger of death and tries to take his sister's soul from him, where his sister's soul gets divided into 2 parts, one part of which the boy takes with him and runs away, and the other remaining part is converted into the messenger of death, and the scene changes. And we are still seeing that boy in the bathtub. Then his father comes and takes him out, after which we see that a doctor comes to that house who considers his sick sister dead, and then that boy comes to his sister, and here he still had half of his sister's soul in his hand, which he puts back in his sister's body, due to which she becomes alive again.
But his sister
does not remember anything here. And the reason for this was that second part of her soul, which actually had all her memories. Well, we have been watching these two siblings for so long, and now you must be thinking, who is this? So let me tell you. The boy's name is Nyato, and his sister's name is Nayako. And after this, we see both of them going out of the house to the market, where they also go to a circus named Circus Great Wheel, where we see a girl being cut into pieces. The magician is spinning the pieces very fast in the air. Where the girl's red liquid, I mean, you must have understood what I mean by red. It falls on both the brother and sister. After that, the girl lies down again, and then we see a joint transparent bird, which has many clouds inside it. And when the circus people tie that bird with a rope and torture it, then that bird creates stars in the sky, which everyone is happy to see. But when they pull that rope a little too much, then all the clouds present in that bird turn white to black, and then there is a loud explosion, after which there is a flood there. There is only water all around. And why did this happen? I will explain this to you at the end, after which we see the same brother and sister on the boat. And here, one thing was worth noticing. These two were not alone. There was a pig with them. After which we see Nyato doing something on the boat, and now you must have understood what I mean, after which many fishes come there to eat the same thing. After which the scene changes, and we again see the same pig who has the same fishes in his hands, which we had seen in the toilet area a while ago. And the pig had brought them here to eat, but leave them aside, he starts eating the same pig, and it also has a very sensible meaning, which, again, I will tell you later. Then we see someone's hand, which lifts the earth in the air, due to which all the water of the earth starts gathering below his hands. And by now, all the water of the earth has also disappeared, and that place starts drying up. After which, we again see the same three, where the pig is carrying those two siblings on its back. And on the way, Nyato kills that pig and starts eating it again. And this time he does not like the taste of the pig that much. Due to which he starts beating him very brutally, and Nayako also starts beating him until that pig dies. And after this, we see these two brother and sister going towards the house. Inside that house, he meets a giant human who feeds both the brother and sister very well, whatever they had to eat. And then we see both of them in hot water, where that big man is putting vegetables in that water. And by this time, you must have guessed that he is going to make soup for these cats. And then that giant human goes to his room, where he comes after changing his dress. And he has a big scissors in his hand, with which he is going to cut those cats, but they escape. And he gets directly surrounded in the same water, taking advantage of which Nyato and her sister gets out of his trap. And when that giant human tries to come out after them, we come to know that in reality he is a robot. And Nyato cuts his hands and legs with his own scissors and covers him so that he can come out. Could not come. After which, obviously, both the brother and sister run away from there too. And we see that they get very tired due to the heat, and they dig a pit in search of water, from where they find a water elephant who gives water to both the brother and sister and takes them inside it. But now it was a water elephant, so due to the heat, its water starts drying up. So Nyato makes it stand again and gives it water, and it becomes like before again. But when the same thing starts happening with that water elephant for the second time, Nyato starts looking for water again. But this time he gets late, and that water elephant evaporates. After which, the scene changes again, and we see the same god who is cutting a fruit when seen for the first time. But actually it was an asteroid, half of which gets surrounded by his hands, and gets stuck in the machines present nearby. And due to this, the whole machine stops, which affects the Earth, and the entire time of the Earth comes to a stop. And then the machine starts working again, which makes the time on Earth pass very fast. Then, again the scene changes, and we see the same godlike entity who is still trying to catch half of the asteroid. But it goes ahead of his hands, which he turns the machine backwards to bring it back. Due to which, again, the time of the Earth gets reversed in this way. That god gets his half asteroid, and the time of the Earth also becomes normal again. I don't know that this is very confusing, but trust me, this thing also starts making sense at the end of the movie. Then in the next scene, we again see the same brother and sister who were still present on a boat, after which they go into a tunnel, which looks like a tunnel. There are only mechanical parts all around and creatures made of them, which go a little further. They see a flower, which Nyato breaks and puts in front of her sister, due to which the memory of her sister comes back. Then again, the scene changes and we see both the brother and sister in the market, and they take their stuff from there, which they had come to take, and go home, where the whole family sits together and has their dinner. They see them going to the washroom, and when he was in the washroom, his mother, father, and sister start disappearing one by one. Even the host of the TV show they were watching disappears, and only Nyato is left alone. He also disappears, along with his entire family, after which the movie ends here. Well, on watching it for the first time, I had the same reaction as you. What did I see? I was like, what was this? But when I researched this movie, I understood what this movie is about. What does it want to tell us? Well, basically, this whole movie is actually about globalism, society, philosophies, human nature, and power. Now, you must be thinking, no, what are you saying? Here we have just seen the story of a brother and sister. Where did globalism philosophy come from in this? Before explaining all this, I would like to tell you why Nekojiru made this movie. So when Nekojiru did something to herself that I cannot say in words here because of YouTube, then after that, an interview comes out where one of her friends was her editor. He tells us about her. What kind of person was she? She did not have many friends because she did not want to be friends with anyone, and even today, her editor thinks that he does not know why he made friends with her when she did not make friends with people. And he also tells that Nekojiru used to take drugs frequently. And one day, she did all that to herself in this intoxication. And one thing she did not care about the society, because she had attraction towards same gender since her teenage, which the society did not like. And after this, Nekojiru did not get along with people. But still, she also got married. And as I told you, she did not care about people, so she kept herself busy in making mangas whose art style was simple and unique. And some people believe that the script of this movie was written by Nekojiru's husband in tribute to her, who is also a horror manga writer, Hajime Yamano. And this thing is not mentioned clearly anywhere, so I cannot say it is right or wrong. So you will still have doubts. After all, how is this whole movie? It represents globalism and modern society. So, I will give you a brief go-through of this movie again. Well, the movie starts, and we see a brother saving his sister's life by taking her soul from the messenger of death, which shows human nature to be so possessive towards its own people, after which we are shown a circus scene where the magician cuts the girl into pieces, and the people present there are not shocked at all, and on the contrary, they are enjoying. And through this, we are shown a face of the society that when something bad happens to someone, the rest of the people just watch. And this was just a normal thing. That is, I take it one step further. That is the scene when blood falls on both the brother and sister, but they do not react at all. This shows that we also react like the same society, even if something wrong is happening in front of us. Then comes the talk of that giant bird. Through this, Nekojiru definitely wanted to tell us that if we tamper with nature a little bit, then it won't be dangerous for us. But when we start humiliating this nature too much, like increasing pollution, it leads to global warming, which is really a big danger for our Earth. And that is why after the giant bird bursts, we see water all over the Earth, which symbolizes global warming. And it is really impressive that Nekojiru was able to think of this thing, that too at that time. And after this, the incident of killing the pig, well, through this, the Raider wants to show us the human nature of man again, where what he does to the person who does good to him, he takes full advantage of his goodness and uses him till he stops benefiting from it. And as soon as the benefit stops, he throws him away. Just like Nyato, as long as he was getting meat from that pig, he was taking advantage of it. And as soon as this thing stopped happening, he kills it. Then again, that robot scene, which again shows human nature, who only thinks about himself. And that water elephant scene, which shows us the value of water and how important it is. Or the word God has been added in this movie because it shows us the mindset of the Nekojiru, that nothing is in the hands of man. And then comes that disappearing scene, which actually means whatever we were watching just now. This is just Nyato's imagination, while Nyato is still in the bathtub, so all this is being shown to him by his brain. And when Nyato dies, this dream also vanishes. Just like his family and he himself vanished one by one. Well, these were the things that I personally felt this movie wanted to show us. And here your point of view may be different, which you can tell me in the comment section. And yes, I'm still working on darkest and confusing anime ever made, and thinking how I can show you all those gruesome things without much censorship, and YouTube also does not take it down. And let's see how I do it. Rest if you want, you can click on any of these two videos. I will get you there. Thanks for watching.